So I'm here with my pal, Rob Morganti. How are you?
Doing good, Georgie. How are you, buddy?
Good, good. So we're going over the March numbers and the statistics. So look, you and I are kind of high-level guys. Big picture, January, as far as like a community, we closed around 2,200 homes, about 2,400 and change in February. March is looking like around just shy of 3,000.
Getting there.
So it keeps creeping up. We always know the spring gets busy, but now the reason why I like to do this with somebody who's in the business and actually is producing, and you actually take clients out and you're in the business, is what's happening today. What can our members take away from our visit, talking about the stats and what the market's doing, and apply it to their business with what happened in the stock market last couple days? Rates have plummeted, right? We're talking about a 0.5 point drop. So my 2 cents is that's going to open up more demand for buyers. We had a balanced market, sellers and buyers going back a couple weeks ago, but now you're going to see more buyers out shopping. What do you think?
I have to agree. I mean, you see what happens with the stock market in real time. The tariffs are in there. That's kind of driving all this madness. But the rates are going down. And I think the perfect storm we talked earlier is kind of brewing right now, right? It's kind of percolating like that old coffee machine growing up, right? Just sitting there, just boiling, and you can smell it like it's going to happen. And you're going to get that big cup of coffee that's coming. But it's out there. So the word on the street that I'm hearing with my buyer's agents, with our buyers, with the listings that I'm taking on a daily basis, that people know it's starting to go. The trajectory is heading up instead of down. Like cyclical's back, where you have that December, January, February, Super Bowl kind of kicks off the selling season here in Vegas. That I noticed, Super Bowl to 4th of July, then it kicks back on Labor Day and then kind of getting there. But with these rates, people are getting off the fence. The outside of the four walls is really starting to come down a little bit.
Inflation.
Eggs,
gas,
eggs, people saving a couple of $100 a month on things they weren't spending at the grocery store can now turn that into housing. So now you have someone that can afford a little bit more of a mortgage payment when the rates were a little bit higher. But now what you're seeing is rates are trending down. That outside,
and inflation's down a little bit.
Coming down a little bit. There's now that $500 payment is now an extra $1,000 they could put towards a house. And I think people are starting to see that. I had listings that were sitting for 30, 60, 90 days. As probably everybody that's watching this, starting to get some action, starting to see the lock boxes open, starting to see some offers coming in, starting to see closing costs requests coming down a little bit more to be competitive in the market, starting to see, just great communication. And we're really getting some good traction on the sites, some great feedback from sellers with the showings, but everything's starting to tick back up. I think, which is great, and great for the market, great for Vegas. It depends on what you call the market, right? I simplify my market. I tell my agents to simplify the market to one person. Mm-hmm. If you listen to the noise on Inman, you listen to the noise in Topeka, Kansas, wherever you're going to listen to the news article coming out saying markets are crashing, markets this, markets that. My market is my 3 appointments I have today. My market this weekend is my open house doing Sunday. That's my market. And once I simplify that market, the rest takes care of itself.
So seeing that this is a conversation about like
numbers,
the numbers, right? I want to tell agents out there, if you had somebody who was shopping for a home 2-3 weeks ago and it didn't work out, you need to be on the phone today, right? Sir, ma'am, did you know rates dropped? Maybe we should call the lender again and see if you qualify for more. Maybe they didn't like the house for $450, but now maybe it's $480. But I like balance in markets. I'm worried that if everybody pours in and now you're getting 10 offers rather than 2, that could compress buyer side fees, concessions for buyers. So I'm leery that I don't want to see this be like tilting back to a seller's market because there's so many buyers. But don't be mistaken, go get yours. It's your chance to get somebody under contract today because they qualify for more house than they did 2 days ago.
And I agree with you on that. And I think a great thing that our agents should be doing is communicating with your team. And your team is your loan officer that has got your guy pre-qualified. Talk to them, explain, see where the rates are, see what they can qualify for now, see where they can end up, and get back out on the street. Don't give up on them. If you haven't spoken to them in a month or so, somebody else may be speaking to them. and you may lose them. So you have to be very, very cognizant of market conditions. Like as a realtors, we are the experts in the market. So we should know the data. We should know the numbers.
Sure.
And separate yourself from the other agents.
Right. So now there's this other little wrinkle that could come out, which would be the closer we get down to 3%, which I know we're never getting that far, but when it was 8, no one was trading, a 3 for an 8, right?
Right.
No one was trading a 3 for a 7, but maybe
7 for a 5.
Or a 3 for a 6. I mean, if it's the right house.
It's the right house.
So now, because Gafford was here and Gafford's like 5.5, the handcuffs come off.
Right.
So that was his number.
Yep.
Right. So John said at 5.5, you're going to start seeing all the listings hit again. But I was like, well, that doesn't scare me because all those people are going to buy another house. So it's going to be a wash. They're either going to upsize or downsize, but our units could totally jump up. Like we could get back to, north of 4,000 units in May if rates go down low enough that it unlocks sellers to be able to trade houses. Because some people feel handcuffed. They feel like they're stuck in that COVID house that they probably didn't love. They rushed buying, but the rates were so low, they were like, screw it, I want it because of the low cost of shelter. But now maybe they're thinking they're making a little more money. Maybe they're going to trade.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think John's spot on with the 5.5. I think
you'll have more
turnover.
Yeah,
you're going to have more volume.
Hopefully that's what we want.
Yeah, you may
brokers want it, agents want it. We love sales, but we want more.
You may have some trades. You may have some refis coming up. You may have people who are in the school districts that love the area, love the house. They bought high on a higher rate. Now there's time to maybe do a little refi and stay put. So I think, you may see that 4,000, 4,200 sales. And that's not a bad thing.
No, I hope we do. I think it'll be, I'm going to guess like 3,500 in April. And depending on where rates go, and it'll be good for the town because you know what? Our market keeps expanding. There's more people here and there's more rooftops because builders keep building, but yet we keep selling the same amount of homes.
We're selling.
And that's the bad part. Like really, like this market should expand and it hasn't. And that's made it hard on agents. So guys, we're here to tell you these numbers are good. People are buying and selling homes here in Las Vegas. Rob's a producing agent here in town. He's working. There's people who want his service. You guys need to pick up the phone, make your contacts, listen to your brokers. There's a ton of business out there if you want to get it. And today, you have something to call and actually talk about. You can tell us seller rates are lower. Buyers might want to buy your house a little more than they wanted to yesterday. Mr. Buyer, rates are lower. You might qualify for more today than you used to. Like, let's start talking real estate.
Exactly. I think the knowledge out there is for buyers, for sellers, and the brokers are great people to lean on. I mean, you're a great broker. We have great brokers at our shop. Pick their brains. They've been through the experience. They're dealing with mega units, not just onesie twosie. So they've been in a lot of different scenarios. Talk market stats at your sales meetings. Talk closing techniques. Talk what's happening in general market conditions from a broker perspective and show a benefit to the agents for sure. That'll then turn a benefit to that buyer or seller, which then you get a customer for life out of that.
There's times you want to work in this business more than others. In a downtime, when it's a crappy month and no one's moving, when rates were close to 8, the whole thing was like almost like stuck. Yeah, you work, you answer the phone, someone wants something, you take care of your sphere, but maybe you don't prospect as hard. The fish are biting.
Yeah.
You go get the poles and you put them in the water. Like this is when you work. So if you're looking to have a good year in real estate in 25, April, May, and June are going to be your months. And now it's been compounded with lower rates because of the tariff issue. Like guys, this is your window. If you were trying to make it this year, now is your time to work. Don't you agree?
No, I agree 100%. I always thought, and I always told my agents that the second quarter is always that makes or breaks your year. It really does. You went through the mud, and I used the scenario kind of, I've said it 10 times before, is Shawshank Redemption. Andy Dufresne, right? He's walking through the sewer, January, February, March. And now he's in April like this going, I got it, let's go. Like, so that's the time. Second quarter on your business plan. Second quarter traditionally is always the strongest quarter for real estate. It sets your third quarter up. This market is momentum and energy. And if you have great energy and great momentum in the second quarter, you will be super successful with the data and knowing what's happening with the stock market and with the extenuating circumstances are that are creating this frenzy that may or may not happen. I think it's probably teetering on, based on what I'm seeing coming across my computer, the phone calls that we're getting, the inquiries that we're getting on our sites. It's starting, like I said, it's percolating, it's getting there. People are getting into that, let's get a house, let's get a new school zone by August. And I think that's where April, May, and June come into play. July and August set up school zones, and then they coast through the rest of the year. And it's definitely word on the street. It's happening.
It's going to be busy, guys. Don't miss out. Rob, thank you for
Hey,
going over
thanks for
the
having me,
March
George.
stats, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, guys.